Thank you so much, DJ Jem. That was amazing. Are you ready? Is everybody ready for today's session? And particularly, are you ready for the win? I think the music was amazing. It's getting us all ready for this amazing conversation that we have today. I want to thank you for taking 1 hour. Think about it, 1 hour out of your busy schedule to invest time back into you and back into your business. I can tell you that we, with me and Daniel Hakim and our team, we're going to give it our all during this 1 hour time. And I'd like to ask that you too make it count, make this 1 hour count for you and your business. My name is Deena Tierney. I'm the founder and CEO of Pacific Point. We are a Salesforce consulting firm. And what we do is we help clients optimize their Salesforce investment and getting them the results that they're looking for. Later in today's session, I'm going to share some practical things that our company has done to gain rapid growth for our company. And you'll also get to meet some people on our Sydney team, Vineet Mangal and George Lee later, and they're going to show you a little bit about how we use Salesforce internally within our own company to fuel growth as well as gain more efficiency in the way we operate. Our headliner today is Daniel Hakim. Daniel needs no introduction for those Aussies that are in the business community. He heads up the largest members club for entrepreneurs in the country, and Cub is also the fastest growing. So I'm super happy about having him here, and I can't wait to hear his story. But before I turn the floor over to Daniel, think about the questions that you might have for us, because Daniel and I have allocated about 10 to 15 minutes later at the end of today's session to answer any questions you might have about our stories, about how we've gained rapid growth in our respective businesses. So Daniel, thank you for being here. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Deena. Thank you for having me. And hello, everyone. As Deena said, I've been asked to speak today just briefly on preparing for the win, which is an extremely relevant topic at the moment, considering the year we've all had and the situation that we currently find ourselves in. And now I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm an expert on the topic, because I'm a believer that there's many ways to success, right? There's no one way to success. But what I want to do today is share with you what we did at Cub and what I've done to handle the COVID crisis, and what we're doing to prepare for the future, to prepare for this economic upswing that has to happen, that has to come back, and the best things to be doing. And the other thing is that I'm in a really unique situation in that, just due to the nature of my business, which I'll introduce very shortly, I'm surrounded by the best in Australian business on a daily basis. And I can tell you that I guess maybe the 3 principles or lessons that I want to share today, they're also being used, not because they've heard it from me, but they're being actioned by many of Australia's best in business. So what I'll do is I'll do a quick overview of what I want to speak about. And my goal today is that each of you, I guess, see my perspective on the future. But more so than that, I would love it if you were able to walk away today with some implementable things that you could put into your business or into your lives that are going to benefit you for the future, and definitely for now, because screw waiting for the future. Now is way better. I'll introduce myself briefly and Cub very, very briefly. I then want to talk about how we handled the crisis, the lesson at the very start, right? When the world was ending and panic was happening. I want to talk about what we did there that was really important. And it's going to be a great lesson for all future crises. And believe me, there will be more crises. The world is going to have bad shit happens in life. That's just life, right? It's all just what matters is how you perceive it and how you handle that and your ability to search for the good. So I want to talk about how we handled the crisis at the start. And I then want to go through 3, I guess, lessons or principles, 3 things that you could implement into your business that were incredibly successful for us, right? 3 things that that made this crisis the best thing that's actually ever happened to Cub, right? And these 3 things were chosen right? They're there as an option for all of us, but we chose to find them and we chose to do them. And that's what I hope to I guess shed a bit of light on today. So just to introduce myself, and I guess Cub, I am the CEO and the owner of the Club United business. And just to give you a background of why I ended up in that business space, a really brief background. I came from a family of business. I have a father who's an incredible entrepreneur, and I have a mother who embodies everything beautiful about family and love. And growing up, I always knew I was going to be in business, and it kind of came to the point where I was like, well, what are the only two things I know in my life? And I had got kicked out of about 3 schools by then, so I didn't learn too much before my work life, and I had no option other than to start my own business. So I looked at my 2 biggest idols, my mother and my father, and I put together the 2 biggest lessons that they'd given me: business and the understanding of that entrepreneurial journey and how difficult it is, and watching someone go through that, and family, and so the importance of community, and how that is really what gets you through life. That's what can catch you in the bad times and throw you back forwards. And that's what I did. I created a business family, and that is the concept of Cub. It is a members club that builds valuable relationships between accomplished Australian entrepreneurs, yes, but the club itself was founded on the belief in the power of the entrepreneur. So we believe in you. We believe in your ability to impact the world in a positive way. We love business, and we love entrepreneurs and business owners, business leaders. And basically, we're just on a mission. And that mission is to improve the entrepreneurial journey, to make it better. Because most of the time it actually sucks. It's not an easy journey. It's not for everybody. And that's important that it does. It's important that it's hard. You should love that it's difficult, because that's what makes you special. The fact that you have the strength and the courage to keep going and to keep solving the problems. And the further down you go, the better you should feel, because the less people make it there. So we want to improve the entrepreneurial journey, and we do that by giving our members and all entrepreneurs, or as many as we can, the network and the relationships needed to succeed. Right? We give you the relationships needed to take your business to the next level, and we're the best at it. We cracked that code. Having the right network and the right relationships is the oldest and most proven tactic of all time in securing success. But everyone knows that, it's who you know, blah 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 blah. But how do I meet people? Who do I meet? Where do I meet them? I'm busy. I haven't got time. And that's what Cub did. Cub cracked that code and made it possible for Australian entrepreneurs to connect and to bond and to build friendships, really, friendships that are going to help them in business, people to relate to them. So that's myself, and that's Cub. As you probably figured out, our service as a company is our purpose and our service is to build valuable relationships, which means we bring people together, right? That's what we do. We literally pack the room with a bunch of legends, a bunch of business owners, all of whom are excited to shake hands. They're all friends too, so they hug. And so Cub is, the concept of it is really anti-COVID. Right? The worst thing that could have happened to us was that we're not allowed to bring people together, because that is literally what we do. That's what we did, right? We had to put people together in the same room. And the reason I emphasize that is because by no means should Cub have done well through COVID, right? It could have done shit. It could have done bad. It could have collapsed, right? In fact, it probably should have, based on what we do and what we were not allowed to do anymore. But it didn't. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today. And I want to start that, and I want to share those lessons and why I believe that happened, why I believe it actually got better. I want to start with kind of the beginning now, with the beginning of COVID. And I know today is not just about COVID, and I'm sick of the word, I'm sick of talking about it, but it is important, because let's face it, it has caused a lot of issues for us all this year, and we are preparing for the win, because we're preparing for the future. We're preparing for future stability, for the future economic upswing, and we want to make sure we ride that wave, the upswing, right to success, and be stronger than we were before. And you will be stronger than you were before, because you yourself and your team are stronger now for having gone through COVID. That's a really important message and lesson. And every adversity is a good thing so long as you don't give up, right? Because every adversity makes you stronger. The brain is like the body. When you go to the gym, you work out, it feels shit, your muscles are straining and all this stuff. And then after the next day, you feel shit, your muscles hurt and it's crap. But it hurts because your muscles are changing, right? They're getting bigger, they're getting stronger. And the brain's the same thing. You know, you work so hard, there's all these problems, people are quitting, people, if that's a fire, whatever. The brain hurts, but it builds resilience and it builds strength. And that bad feeling you get in bad situations, and that's a good thing. You should love that, because that's like your muscle hurting because it's growing. That bad feeling exists for a reason. It exists because it's forcing you to change. It's forcing you to figure out a way to improve, to get better, to get rid of this bad feeling or this bad situation. So the bad feeling is good. It's not just there to hurt you, right? We're evolved for a reason. We're evolved a certain way to survive. And that bad feeling is there because it forces us to change. It forces us to survive. And today, we want to figure out how to thrive in the future. So, and before COVID, Cub was booming. It was bigger than it's ever been. We were growing faster than we've ever grown. Our events were huge. They were magical. The vibe was incredible. The team was growing very rapidly. And then one day, or maybe over a period of 2 weeks, Alice, who's our head of networking on our team, said to me, Daniel, have you heard of this virus, this corona? And I'm like, don't worry about it. We're going to keep going. Nothing's going to stop business owners from wanting to run their businesses. It's the most important thing in their life. Who cares? Don't worry about it. Anyway, the next week, we had to cancel all of our networking. All of everything we'd worked for had kind of stopped and changed. And that's when I realized, oh, shit, like we're in trouble. What are we going to do? Like our job is to bring people together. If we can't do that anymore, like, what are we going to do? No one's going to renew. No one's going to join. Like, we're fucked. And obviously I only said that in my own head. I didn't say that to the team, but that was a concern. And I'm sure that was a concern for a lot of people. So what I did, which I think was one of the best things, one of my biggest lessons personally, and I would encourage everyone to do it for any crisis, now or in the future, is I sat the team down and I just told them the reality. I said, guys, look, the world's fucked. This is a serious situation, right? This is a problem. This is going to be hard, right? But the one thing I wanted to do was I wanted to make sure that the team knew we had a goal. It's important to have a goal. We had a goal. And I said, our goal is that at the end of this, we're all still here, and we're going to be stronger than we were before. And now that's an incredibly important thing to say to people. Maybe you can't say that to some people because you have to let people go, and different story. Say that to the ones that you knew you could keep, or like I said, there's not just one way to success. But I said this to the team after we had, and actually I will note, we did have to stop the hospitality staff because there was no more hospitality. But for our core team, I said, guys, we're all going to be here, and we're going to be stronger than we were before. And that was really important because now the team have a goal. They know, okay, our goal is we're all here. We're going to be here. I'm safer, right? Or our goal is that we're going to be here. And we're going to be stronger than we were before, right? Imagine they need to feel that, because at that point, before that point, when there's a crisis, everyone's panicking. Everyone's thinking, shit, am I losing my job? What's happening? Is my company shutting? Everyone's freaking out. So you need to instill a goal and a sense of confidence and hope for them. And we did that. And I followed that but don't expect this to be easy. It's not. It's going to be hard. It's going to fucking suck. Like, it just is. We're going to work extra hours. We're going to have reduced wages if we have to. We're going to do whatever it takes to reach our goal, which is the fact that we're all going to be here, we're all going to have jobs, and we're going to be stronger than we were before. And we're going to do that by sticking together and helping each other and doing whatever we need to do to achieve that goal. Now, I didn't just say this to them. I asked them. I said, is this what we want to do? Is this what you want to do? And they said, yes. They wanted to say yes. It was their decision. And that's how we started our journey. That's how we started our journey through this crisis, with a committed team that had a goal and a sense of security. That's the most important thing. That's the most important platform to start with. And whether you've done that already, whether you can do it now, or whether you're going to do that when you rebuild your team, they need that security. At the end of the day, a business is a community. And in communities, people need to, I know a thing is true about communities, the business I'm in, it's all I study all day, but in communities, people need to feel a sense of belonging. And a sense of belonging allows them to feel a sense of ownership. But they can't belong unless they feel safe. And they can't feel a sense of ownership unless they belong. And if they feel a sense of ownership, they're willing to bring value. They will help. They will do whatever it takes. So you need to give them that sense of security, that belonging, that ownership, so that they can produce the value. So that's just an important note I wanted to make of how we started. And I revisit that every month. I catch up with them one-on-one, we call it one-on-one meetings. I catch up with all of them one-on-one, just to reinstill that sense of security. Security is key, because if they're safe, they can then go do stuff. They feel comfortable, they can do stuff. So I catch up with each of them one-on-one. It's like half an hour. It's normally a phone call once a month. And I just reinstill that sense of security. So you need that security so they're able to belong, so they're able to have ownership, and they're able to bring value. And we actually have a system at Cub that we use to create a culture that allows what I just described. And if you do want me to send you like our paperwork, we've got a culture sheet, a culture meeting, and a way to celebrate the right culture. If you want to receive that, this wasn't planned, but I'm happy to send that to you. You can email me on dh@cubpbc.com. That dh@cubpbc.com, and I'll send you that document if you want it. It's our culture document. It's how we create the best culture for our team. And that's what I'm talking about with a sense of security, especially in a crisis. When everything's good, they get safe, they feel safe anyway. When shit's bad, they need that security from their leader. And that's your job to do that as the owner, as the leader. So that's how we started. That's, I guess, the first message I wanted to do. We then went on our journey, right? We went on our journey, and it was not easy. And it was particularly not easy for me. And as I'm sure it wasn't for you, because there were a lot of moving parts that your team doesn't see. Your leases, your staff breaking down, finances, and all these issues. But I chose to love the adversity, and I chose to search for the goods, not in the bads, because every down has an equal, I'm a believer of every down, every bad thing has an equal up thing that's going to happen. That's there, but it's only there if you look for it. And we did look for it. And these are the three things that I found that didn't just save Cub, they made Cub way stronger. And the fact that we've done them has prepared us for the win, has prepared us for the future. Now, the first of those three things is our business model. Our business model changed dramatically. I'm not just talking about our service offering. We did change that. I'm talking about the finances. Our business model changed. Do you know how much fat there was, which I was not aware about before a crisis? Right? Now I look back at myself 6 months later or whatever it was. I think, shit, I was horrible at business. I was running an inefficient business. This thing's fucked. This is costs everywhere. I look at it now, it's this sleek, beautiful, sexy machine that only spends money where it's supposed to, on its purpose, which is to build valuable relationships between our members. It only spends money for that reason, and reasons that help that happen. We deleted everything else. Have you ever heard of that saying, never waste a good crisis? Right? There are opportunities in crises, and the opportunity that you can find is that you can remove the fat from your business, the shit that doesn't need to be there, the services and the costs that do not serve your purpose, whatever your purpose is. And there will be costs that do not serve your purpose. In our case, the hospitality stuff, We're not a hospitality business, right? We're not. We're a networking service. And we had these huge overheads of hospitality, of which did not make money. They just cost money. And they did not, honestly, they didn't help anyone build valuable relationships. So I don't even know why the fuck they were there. Gone. And you know what? I haven't heard anything, one complaint from anyone about it not being there anymore. And you know why? Because that just shows you that that was not our purpose. That was not giving the members why they joined. That was not delivering valuable relationships for them. And so the question I have for you is, what is your purpose? What are you supposed to be doing? Because that's where your money should be going, that purpose. And we couldn't provide our purpose the way we were before, because it was illegal and dangerous, but also illegal. We couldn't provide it anymore, but we still did provide our purpose in a different way. And it doesn't matter if you're a restaurant or if you're whatever you are, a nail salon or whatever. There's something that your clients and customers come to you for, a feeling, an emotion. There's a purpose, and as a business, you can try to deliver that purpose in a different way, so long as you can find a way to deliver it. And there's always a way. It may not be a financially amazing way, but it's a way that you can keep serving your clients in a bad time, right? You might not be making money, you might be breaking even, you might be in a small loss, but it's a way to serve your clients in a bad time and to look good and to strengthen your brand, which is one other thing I want to actually, I'll talk about that now. That's the next thing. Sorry. The one thing also I want to mention in the business model is I was feeling very scared a lot of the time, even when we were doing good through COVID, because I was very worried that I did not have control of the business, because the government could decide, well, whatever the fuck you want to, I'll shut you down tomorrow. Yeah, what am I going to do? So I had no control. And I can imagine as business owners and leaders, you would have felt that no control fear. And I spoke to many, as I said, I'm blessed to have an amazing network because of the nature of my work and the opportunities I've been given. But I spoke to, I'm talking the top of the top, the best in business. And they introduced me to a concept which gave me so much power and strength. And it's a concept that I would encourage all of you to do, which is a recession plan. A recession plan, a 3-stage recession plan. Now, all that means is that as your revenues drop, so there's 3 levels of revenue drop. As your revenues drop, you have a plan. You have a plan to eliminate the equal amount of cost until it's just you standing, right? That's how far down you should go, until it's just you standing. Because so long as you don't quit, you're stronger and you can rebuild when it comes back. So it's not dead. Don't worry about it. It will come back and you will be better and stronger. But you need to have that plan. They didn't call it a recession plan. I actually can't remember what it kept getting called, but recession plan sounds all right. But you need to have that plan, and it's really simple. Get your costs, get your revenues, and as your revenues drop, I chose 3 levels. Have a cost elimination plan, right? The first could be the fat, like what we did. The second could be rent negotiation and wage reductions, temporary wage reductions. The third could be having to let go of non-core, this very center team. You know, my point is you can figure out what, ideally you don't want to let people go. But my point is, if you're planning this to go down just to you, so it was just you standing there with no office, that's how low down you want to plan that. And that's really important to do, because it gives you confidence that no matter what, you will survive. You will get through this and you'll come back stronger than ever. And you probably won't, you may not even have to go down the ladder that far, especially if your team is strong and you found a way to deliver your purpose. So the recession plan, a really, really cool thing that each of you can implement and that I would encourage. I then I started talking about brand. Now, the brand in times like this is a really interesting thing, because a lot of people stop spending money on marketing. And I'm not going to say, hey, go spend money on marketing, because I've heard a lot of people say that. And I was just like, that's could be moronic, because what if I'm going broke? I got no money. What do you want me to spend more money on something I can't even deliver my service? Like, what are you talking about? But you don't have to do that, right? You don't have to spend money. Cub has spent almost $0 on marketing this year. I swear to you, almost zero. I can't even think of something we spent on marketing at the moment, because we utilized our team and our assets and our database, things that we had for free, to communicate. And we communicated the shit out of everyone. We tripled our communication to members, and we invented new things that we had never done before to communicate. So some of the things we did that I would encourage are the entire team posted 2 times a day on LinkedIn. The entire Cub team, sometimes 3, just posted. We were present, right? That's free. And it shows strength. People are on LinkedIn. They're looking, wow, I'm scared. All these other companies are scared. And these crazy motherfuckers at Cub, they're going ballistic. They're posting. They seem strong. They seem healthy. And that gives people confidence in your team, right? So in your team. So go hard, communicate heavily. We created a podcast. Now it's a huge podcast. It's one of the biggest business podcasts in Australia. It's called Catching Up with Cub. You can get it on Spotify and Apple, Apple Podcast. It's amazing, right? It cost us nothing. Like, I think I spent $1,000 originally on the equipment. Right? But again, communication, and we interviewed our members, so it's marketing. It was pretty much free. We don't advertise it anywhere. And the final thing is we increase communication to our members. I write our entire community a Monday email, just with my thoughts and notes on everything. And our communication level has gone ballistic, and that has made our brand go strong. People look at Cub like, wow, these people, this brand, it's strong. In the difficult times, they went for it. Even if we lost, they would still respect us because we went for it. So your brand can be strengthened by just pushing out communication. Don't spend money on it. Just do it for free. Hit your database that you already have. Hit your clients up. Everything. Communicate. And your team. We increased communication with our team. We ran the entire team as one across the country, and we caught up twice a day, every single day, through Zoom. And we didn't even know what Zoom was, to be honest with you, before COVID. So it was a big deal. And I haven't got too much time. And so I just want to finish on the note of team. Our team is stronger than ever. And that's because they went to war together. They committed at the start with what I told you when we started. We committed to our goal. They did have wage reductions, and we did it quickly too, because I knew I wanted to act fast to get ahead of everyone else. They did work overtime every day for ages. But you know what they have now? They had security, and now they're stronger than ever. The company's better than ever, and they trust each other. They know that the person fighting next to me is going to fight with me. We're going to fight to the finish. We're doing this. And now they're ready. They're battle ready. They're battle tested, in fact. And they're going to push forwards when the economy comes back, and they're going to dominate because they've already succeeded in a bad time. In a good time, they're going to be amazing. So your team, run it as one. If you don't already, I don't know how big your teams are, but run it as one. Communicate heavily and do the one-on-one catch-ups, like I said, every single month without fail. And if they're struggling, do it more regularly. It's important. They need to hear from you. As their leader, they need to know that they're better off with you, that you care about them, and that you're going to lead them to safety and to victory. And if you want to, as I said, if you want to receive our team, our culture like system the way I run the team, basically the team culture management system, I will send that to you. Just email it to me and I'll send it to you. Or if you want to reach out through Cub, it's cub.club. That's our website. Just put what's called in the thing, and the team can give it to me, and we can talk. And I just want to finish with the fact that adversity is a good thing, right? Pain is a good thing, but it's a choice to find the good. It is a choice. And as business owners, you are the people that do find that. You find a way. That is what you do. You put yourself in these situations. Just running a business is a pain in the ass in the first place. And you chose that. You didn't have to do that, right? You chose it. That's who you are. And it's in these times when people need you the most. They need the leader the most. And you don't have to talk to your family about it or your friends about it, because I understand you don't want to stress them out. And sometimes your friends look up to you already, there's different dynamics. Talk to other business owners about it, because everyone's going through the same thing and you can help each other. And that's what we did at Cub, and the members benefited from it greatly. But find the positive. There always will be one, even if it looks really shit now. If you, in your mind, know that you're going to keep going, it will come. And the lessons you've learned through this are going to be beneficial. Those are my 3 lessons. Those are the things that have prepared us for the future, for the win. That's the business model, the team, and the brand. They've all been strengthened, and they're going to have us ready for the win. So thank you, guys. Deena, I'll hand it back to you.
Daniel, thank you for sharing all of that. I love your winner's mentality. I think that's exactly what we all need to hear today, and is exactly in line with our session. And I definitely loved, learning more about, Daniel's whole story. I've heard it multiple times, and I loved his passion coming through today. But the rapid growth that Cub has seen, I've been a member and I've seen some big changes there, and I'm really impressed with him and his team. This year, also Pacific Point, we were named what's called an Inc. 5000 company. And what that is it's a recognition of America's fastest growing companies. Of course, it's awesome to get some sort of recognition like that, but it was a moment for me to sit back and think, because people were asking me like, oh, what happened? What was the big growth secret? Like what happened in that? And I think when you hear what Daniel's saying, and even with me, when I reflected back on, what were the things that I was doing, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, last year, and even now in the middle of a pandemic, I realized, there was no magical moment. There was no big contract that I got specially awarded. There wasn't like a really like big thing that just happened. You're like, boom, I had this like rapid growth. But even when you listen to Daniel and even from my own side, there was a recognition that, what, we just focused on the fundamentals. And I think everything Daniel shared was exactly that, was the fundamentals. And when I look back on what we did, I think about the fundamentals a lot, and I'm an IT person, so I come from that mindset. And there's this IT framework that talks about people, process, and technology. But I think in that order, those fundamentals really make a difference. And I think when you look at entrepreneurs, you see the outside, you see all the things that are happening, and maybe the successes that are there. But I think there's a focus behind the scenes on the fundamentals that really get you ready for the game. I mean, if you think about, I like sports analogies in business, and you see the players when they're out in the field, you see them when they're in the game, but you really think about how much work goes into practice, how much discipline it takes to eat right and be healthy and do all of those things, and all of that puts them in a position for winning in the game, right? And I think that's really what this comes down to. So for me and my company, people absolutely, Daniel touched on it a lot, is team, right? Your people are incredibly important, and we do a lot to invest, even way back many years ago. And that has continued to evolve and mature over the years, is our focus on people and building up their skills, helping them develop their talents. Everybody's different. And so how do you put that together and really make a solid team? The second one is process. And for us, our business process is professional services. We provide professional services to clients who are looking to implement Salesforce and help them achieve their business goals. So for us, our process is, how do we implement our projects better? How do we support our clients better? But not only that, it's how do we sell better? How do we increase efficiency in terms of the way that we gain new business and acquire new business? And then the last thing is technology. And when you look at those two pieces, the people and the process, the technology is the enabler. It really has brought things together for us as a company. I mean, I've invested in Salesforce. It's not like I get it for free, right? I have every person at our company has Salesforce, and we use it to increase our efficiency across our projects and to drive sales to grow our business. And getting that right technology, picking the right solution that grows with you over the course of time, and focusing on those fundamentals has been absolutely key. Salesforce just published their small business report. And in it, there was some really great material, and I'm sure it can be shared with you guys as well. But there's some really great information about how those companies that were digitally focused, we're in the best position to continue and be successful in a volatile market, right? And I look at crisis, we have crisis now, but there's big crisis like the pandemic, but there's also micro moments, right? Across your journey of business and entrepreneurship. And I think really always coming back to those fundamentals. And for me, I relate very well to the technology analogy with that old school framework, super textbook, but it makes a lot of sense for me, is people, process, and technology. So I'm going to give you a little bit of examples of some of the things that we've done from people, process, and technology, and how our Salesforce has really improved and enabled and empowered our business over time. And then in a little bit, I'll turn it over to George and Vineet to show you a little sneak peek into how we use it. So for us, because we're a professional services company, many years ago when we first started, we were using spreadsheets like many people do to run aspects of their business. And we have to keep track of time because our clients are paying for our professional services, for our time to help them implement Salesforce. So it got to the point where it became extremely inefficient with the amount of time that everyone was spending, not just me, but approving time, looking after it, making sure there were no errors. I mean, it was a laborious effort to say the least. So for us, we started using Salesforce, really focusing on our efficiency. And we looked at how we can create an easier way to track time and report on it so that we can let our clients know what we've been doing. We can process our invoices. We can do a lot of other operational aspects. And just the act of that timesheet process has really evolved over the last few years. And now we have this really nice Salesforce component that we built that really has made life so much easier because that's something we do daily, right? So we put a lot forward to invest in that piece of our technology. The other thing that happened several years ago was a case management. So anytime a client is looking for our services, we started using cases more for ad hoc support. And so we enabled email to case. So you can email our support at pacificpointcorp.com. It will automatically create a case. It'll automatically assign it to whoever's the owner of that particular customer account. And so we've got this efficiency sort of built in, but then we expanded our case management capability to our entire project. So all of our projects, all of our support, everything that comes from our customers, now we have full visibility. We have the ability to really track and be more efficient with how we deliver our services to our customers. We also added, again, over the course of time, all of these things have kind of evolved with us as a company, as we've grown, as we've matured, was project capabilities and budget management. All of that now within Salesforce for us to better manage how we deliver our services to our customers. On the other side of it is sales. So then we in parallel to all of this, we started building out more of our traditional, what you would think of with Salesforce, sales accounts, opportunities, all the activities to really help us track, okay, we've got a new opportunity. There's a new RFP maybe that dropped. We got to keep track of our responses. Why did we win? Why did we lose maybe on certain things? So we're able to track a lot more in our Salesforce, and we've evolved even our sales processes more within Salesforce. And now we've even layered on things like campaign management and member, keeping track of all those that attend various campaigns that we do. So I think when I take a step back, I really think like that's the magic moment. That's been our magic moment for us is we built up our team. We continuously do that. We always come back to those fundamentals. We look at our process, we refine our process and continue to do that. And technology has been an enabler. It's been the enabler that's helped us through our journey. That's the magic moment. Now I have reports, I can build automation. And as our company has grown, the technology helps support that throughout our process, at least for us. And so, yeah, Salesforce has been just great at helping us continue to innovate. We're adding new capabilities and features, including Salesforce Knowledge for our team to have more information sharing across projects. And also we're expanding to have a Salesforce community, which is a Salesforce portal for allowing for customer engagement with us online. So we're starting to more and more bring more of these things on together. So I'm going to actually flip over the screen to Vineet Mangal, and George Lee. They're two of our guys that are based in our Sydney office. And I'll let them show you a quick demo of our Salesforce.
Thank you, Deena. Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to take a few minutes to walk you through how at Pacific Point we've been able to innovate around Salesforce platform to drive growth and efficiencies, both for us internally and our customers. First, we'll have a look at how our sales team leverages the sales activity dashboard to effectively manage their customer relationships by having key accounts and opportunity information available on homepage. Next, we'll take a look at how we've leveraged process automation and declarative features on platform to drive efficiency within our PMO by auto-creating service projects on closing of opportunities. This empowers the project managers to start planning their projects and have the team members log billable time regularly, so the end-to-end cycle. It would be fair to say that the consistent use of this all the way from sales through to delivery has significantly enabled our team to help deliver excellent customer experiences at every touch point they have at Pacific Point. So let's jump in and take a look. What you see here is the sales activity dashboard for George, our sales rep. When George starts his day, his dashboard plays a crucial role in helping augment the memory on what his first task of the day should be by giving him a real-time status view of his accounts and opportunities. He has a view of his key accounts and opportunities that are segmented using various dimensions, such as opportunity stage, activities completions, neglected opportunities that have had no activities for 2 weeks, and planned upcoming activities. Using this information, George is able to prioritize his first task for the day, which is to upload, in this example, a signed contract against an opportunity that he has open. So let's go straight into the account that the opportunity belongs to, which is NBC, where we can see a list of activities and past interactions, including tasks, calls, and emails. Below that, we can also see that for NBC account, we have a huge $2.8 million Health Cloud Build Release 1 opportunity. So let's go ahead and action the task assigned to George by uploading this contract, which he's just received from the customer. Now, before we upload this document, I wanted to highlight the guided flow capability to allow users to manage the opportunity stages. So it acts as a reminder of what they need to do next to be able to close this. It's really helpful, especially with the new, when you're onboarding new sales reps in the team, as it ensures everybody's across the company is following the same business process. As we can see here, the Health Cloud opportunity is in negotiation stage, and the guided flow checklist is reminding George to upload contract once it's signed before progressing forward. By integrating the Dropbox document management capability onto native Salesforce platform, we've been able to greatly enhance George's, who's a sales rep's, user experience, as he can now, within a matter of a few clicks, upload the signed agreement to Dropbox from within Salesforce without having to switch context or change browser windows or tabs. And once this file is uploaded, we can go ahead and close out the task as completed. Next, again, to improve George's customer experience as a user, as a sales rep, he goes to his Kanban view and he can mark this opportunity as closed won. Behind the scenes, using process automation, there is a service project automatically created as part of the handoff process from sales to delivery to the project manager with some intelligent rules we've built in. As a project manager, I, as Vineet, can then start planning my project, managing milestones, resources, and cases, where cases and the way we use it is effectively a discrete task assigned to a resource on a service project. Now, for the purposes of demo today, I have already set some of these records earlier. Now, as part of planning, I need to first try to find an available solution architect resource for this week for my new project that I've just inherited. So I need this resource who can help me start doing some initial planning of my deliverables. I'm able to do this by looking at the internal operations dashboard, which tells me the overall workload in terms of cases the team has on and who's working on what, giving me the critical information that I'm after instantly. I'm able to see that George is only going to be utilized for an estimated 18 hours this week, based on the amount of cases he's got on. I can therefore assign him the first case for my new Health Cloud build service project so he can start helping me plan the first project sprint. Here's an example I prepared earlier. George can then acknowledge the case once it's assigned to him and start actioning it. And then when it's all done, at the end of each workday, he's then able to log his time in the time card custom component that Deena mentioned, the amount of time he spent working on this case in his weekly time card, which as a project manager, I have a view of across my team, including George. And here's what that looks like. If I take a macro view of it, by keeping track of each project as a business leader and other metrics, you're able to keep a tab on project health statuses, ensuring they're always green as a project manager and across the company. This in turn drives incredible efficiency from an end-to-end operations, giving the leadership team company-wide view of all service projects and their health statuses, as well as maintenance and support requests from our customers. As you've been able to see that across our organization at Pacific Point, each consultant is empowered to emulate internal best practices from end-to-end sales through to delivery at every touch point with each prospect and customer, not only supporting them on the CRM journey, but also more importantly, helping them grow their business. Thanks, George, for helping drive the demo today for us and everyone for tuning in. Back over to you, Deena.
Awesome. Thank you, Vineet and George. Great job. That was awesome to see. Looks like we've got about 9 minutes. So if anybody wants to post any questions, you can use the Q&A chat panel. You've got two amazing, particularly Daniel, he's an amazing leader, and you can ask any question you want. So we've got one that's come through. Go ahead.
This is for both Daniel and Deena. How have the sales opportunities changed since the pandemic? Deena, we'll start with you and move to Daniel second.
Yeah, no, thank you for the question. From our perspective, what's interesting is we've seen, at first when the pandemic happened, there was this it was a little quiet. There was like this calm before the storm almost. And then we had an influx of really short-term, quick win type digital requests that were coming through. Stand up a call center very quickly, stand up a Salesforce community to get a site up and running, even most basic, just to take in some case requests. So we started to see this, all this influx of really short-term, quick win fix solutions that our clients were looking for. And now we've kind of turned this corner and our clients are starting to plan their 2021. They're starting to look ahead. They know that, that it is what it is, right? Like what we're facing. So I think that's been a change that we've seen. Daniel?
Well, we obviously had that initial pause, but what changed for us was that, well, we had to change the way we sell. We had to do everything through Zoom. So we were hosting our sales process that we would typically host in person. We do that through Zoom. We changed the message in our marketing. So typically we'll find new members, the team will find new members on LinkedIn. So we changed our initial message to people on LinkedIn to include the fact that, we've got thousands of Australian entrepreneurs connecting via Zoom to help each other through this crisis. And so we adjusted our message to be more relevant for the current time. Our sales decreased 25%. So they're still down maybe 20% now. So it still is less. But one thing that I found was that the companies that we were meeting, the people that we're meeting were very qualified meetings because they were still working. They were still operating somehow. They must have still been driving revenue somehow. And so our conversion rates actually went up. Our meetings went down, but our conversion rates went up. And eventually, Zoom is much quicker to meet with people for sales. So we realized, and especially in the past 3 months, we're having more meetings than we had originally, with a higher conversion rate because we're able to have more Zoom meetings in a day than we are to have in-person meetings. And so that's been the benefit. That's been the benefit to it. But we kept the exact same sales process. That's important because there was no inertia period for the team for them to learn a new thing. It was no learning new thing. Do exactly the same thing, just do it online.
That's good. Maybe if there's one more that comes in, if not, a question for Daniel from me, I guess, is I've been a member of Cub for a long time. How has it been for you personally as a leader to sort of deal with your membership base? I know, because there's a lot of in-person, there's some in-person things starting to kind of evolve, but what's kind of been that experience for you to continuously engage with your membership base?
Well, we had two different issues. The first was Melbourne was fully locked down. So we had to find a way to deliver on our purpose and on our promise for our Melbourne, Victorian community. And our New South Wales community, we still ran in person, but we did it within the legal limits. So rather than having 80, so basically there used to be a week where we'd get everyone's, we call them their core groups, so all their groups in the same week. So the room was full with 100 people every day for a week, and that was the week we prepped for. The team would prepare for. We adjusted and we changed it. So we had the group still come in, but rather than do a week of it, we do it every day. So we only have two groups a day, and they're obviously the distance apart, and it's better for us because we don't have to rent furniture anymore. We can use what we have. It's more luxurious because they're on our nice one-seater lounges and all that type of stuff. So it's actually better for the members. And it ended up being better for the team because it was easier for us to organize, 20 people a day. Right? Organizing business owners is chaos. They're crazy. So trying to get 80 to 100 of them in is really hard. So it actually made it easy for us. In Melbourne, we got innovative. We ran exactly the same process, which I think is important, through Zoom. So we did their same networking groups, their catch-ups with their group 3 to 4 times over the quarter through Zoom. And then we started getting even more innovative. So the team invented like a coffee networking, so they could walk around 5 kilometers of their house or whatever it was. So we grouped the members into living regions, and they ended up going on like coffee dates, coffee networking. So they would build relationships with fellow members that live close to them. But we did exactly the same thing in Melbourne digitally as we did in Sydney.
One more question coming through for you, Daniel, or maybe for both of us, but I'll start with you.
Question that just came through: what are the important things you think businesses should be doing for the coming Christmas period? And what about the start of 2021?
Honestly, I'm just preparing for a fresh start next year. And I think you should be doing the same. Like, go as hard as you can this month and next month, because December's a half a month. And so your sales are going to, revenue is going to be lower in December. It depends on your business. I'm talking from mine. So we're going as hard as we can for the next 2 months. And then we're having an extended break over Christmas for the team, particularly for the Melbourne team, but for everyone, because everyone worked just too hard this year. Even I got burnt out, and I didn't even think that could happen to me. So I'm just preparing everyone to feel very proud of what they've accomplished thus far this year, and to go out swinging. I said, hey, we're so close. We're this close. Let's just go out and finish with a big left hook and knock this year out and start next year on a fresh slate. Let's start next year. It is a new year. Everyone is happier. It's summer, and everyone's out of lockdown. COVID's not as scary as it was. There's a bit more stability, and let's have a very good plan for next year. And also I've been giving the team a lot of confidence in the fact that, hey, we survived the worst. Because the unknown's the worst. And COVID was unknown. We didn't know what was going to happen. And so we've survived that. So now everyone's confident that no matter what happens, we're going to be able to handle it. And next year, they're excited to dominate. They're excited to dominate, but they are finishing the next 2 months strong. We're not stopping almost at the finish line. We cross the finish line, then we stop.
Love that. No, that's great. Thank you, Daniel, for your wise words. I feel like the recap for today, if I may, feels like the underlying message is getting back to the basics, getting back to those fundamentals, like you mentioned, team, your business process, all of those bits, and really the act of doing so puts you in the position to win whenever that is. And I even think that the act of doing it helps you win right here, right now. I mean, maybe it's small wins, but the act of getting the ball moving, doing those things now is really going to help everybody. So thank you guys so much for taking time. And I think we're done for today. Have a good Friday and good weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.